Pokemon is really starting to mess with sports cards. I've seen some crazy stuff happening recently. I actually have a private chat with a top 5 supplier for breakers. He's allowed me to anonymize and show you. I'm going to do that later in the video. I've got pictures too of his warehouse. And that is a very telltale sign of what is happening and how the market is shifting. I also have a video I did yesterday. I'm going to play it in a second. That's going to tell you a very shocking fact about a sports card show that used to be 49ers and sports cards and what has happened to it. Troy posted something that caught my eye today. Did a bunch of experiments at a card show, but listen to this. This show used to be only sports cards, and now it's 90% Pokemon. That is nuts. Are you guys seeing this across the country? All right, so this is Trike Sports Cards. A lot of you probably know him. He was just doing his thing, going through dollar bins, buying cards, spending $1,500 at a card show, and he looked around and noticed that this once dominant sports card show was 90% Pokemon. It used to be 49ers. If you go through the comments on this video, it seems to be the case everywhere. The Northeast is holding up a little bit, but check this out. Okay, let's look at some of these comments. So Trike Cards posted this video and he says that's what he's seeing. He travels a lot for shows. He's a big time YouTuber and goes everywhere. 6040, we got Mrs. Card saying that. So much Pokemon at the Charlotte show this weekend. There's only one show. Poor Doug and Cardboard Promotions. He's right. There's a show in Dedham that's 95% sports cards. I go to that one a lot. Las Vegas show is 200 tables, 60% Pokemon. Some people like to make their troll comments. Sports cards are dead. We got, let's see, North Carolina shows. That's how they've been this year. The UK is 95% Pokemon. In the past year, I've never seen more majority sports cards ever. Okay, whoa. Half Pokemon in most of the Northeast shows. I agree with that. Last two local shows I've been to have been TCG heavy, 70% plus. Pokemon has boomed so much in the spring that WCCS is doing 2 different shows, one sports. It's exactly what I said was going to happen. Canada, 80% Pokemon. You got to think internationally here. Houston, not 90%, but more than half. Majority at South Florida. Somebody talked about Austin here. OC shows, California. Have you seen enough, everybody? This is a pretty damn good sample of the United States of America here. I don't think this is just limited to card shows either. I think it's happening at sports card shops. So I'm going to play another video I did about Jeff Wilson and Cards HQ and something he admitted a couple of weeks ago. There's a battle coming for space in sports card shops. A lot of the ones I've talked to are majority Pokemon now. Even Jeff admitted his was like 55% sports cards. It's gonna be wild to watch this over the next 5 years. That's crazy, right? 55% sports, 45% TCG. That's nuts. And I wanted to dive into this more, so I did a survey with my followers on Instagram. A couple of questions. One was, have you seen Pokemon take over sports cards at your local show, at your local shop? And if you did, when did this start? Did it start with COVID? Did it start a couple of years ago, 6 months, whatever? Here are the results. So resoundingly, everyone is seeing more Pokemon at sports card venues and sports card shows. Some are actually pissed off that they paid the ticket price to go in for sports cards and they ran into 90% Pokemon. They're not happy about that. Then it's a little less strong at their LCS, but these LCSs that are sports card shops are now seeing Pokemon take over. I know one personally, one of my local LCSs, he has 70% TCG and 30% sports cards. It is wild. I'm going to talk in a minute about the risks of Fanatics too, but I owe you guys the chat with a supplier. Check this out. All right, as promised, this is the top 5 supplier. I've connected with a ton of people on Instagram about this, and I've known him a long time. I asked him if I could anonymize this conversation and share it. He said it was fine, so here we go. This is crazy stuff. My biggest wax clients are by far Pokemon clients. I have 2 who, in no exaggeration, spend millions on wax with me alone. He's just one guy, weekly. I asked if he has some first edition for me. I'm looking to open some jungle and stuff like that. He does not. He's dealing smartly in the booming modern Pokemon world. He said one guy bought 10,000 mega ETBs off him at 88 per. I'm not going to share who that is, but it was a huge breaker on Whatnot, one of the biggest. Then he proceeds to show me his warehouse, which are all surprise boxes. He sold one client. Look at that thing. Sports isn't even close. Then he dives in more and he says, We used to be 80-20 sports Pokemon. I asked him when that changed. He said last August. So August 24. He said he was late to the party. So it's really been happening for like a year and a half to 2 years. And it's been just heating up. He said 2 years, extremely hot. It's picking up more and more. There's demand for English Pokemon in Singapore now. So Asia is a whole nother situation. They just had their major card show out there right now. They want Pokemon too. That is a big, big, big player in demand. And he says, to close it out, they pay very well. I'm sure they do. And I asked him to share it, so here you go. So that's fascinating, right? This guy is one of the big time guys. He sends tens of thousands of cases and packs and pallets, every week of everything. And he used to be 80% sports cards. And it has flipped completely. He says it's happening since last August, but he was a little late, so it's really like a year and a half to 2 years where he's seen this trend take over, which boggles my mind. Now, think about this for a second. Fanatics seems like it's dominating, and it's got the NBA license and the other licenses, and it's unbeatable. But what, this Pokemon surge is a massive risk. I'm running a charity event with Joe Hollywood on October 22nd, 6 to 8 on his channel. It's at Card Vault in Boston. And part of the event is we are selling some high-end vintage wax by the pack to raise money for Boston children, so we paid with our own money. The other thing we're doing is we're fielding packs from people to give to them for the kids that are there with cancer or other long-term ailments. And when I was talking to Jeff, I'm going to be on his show this week on Wednesday night, Jeff Wilson said that you better have some Pokemon for those kids because about half of them want it. So we are making sure we have Pokemon packs for them to open. That's crazy. So if you think about Fanatics, this is a massive risk. They obviously have the Marvel license. It's, they're able to use SpongeBob and they're able to use the OG Disney stuff, but that's not really going to hold a candle to Pokemon. I think what they have to do, if I was working with Fanatics right now, I put together a SWAT team, and that SWAT team, your only mission is to travel and make buddies with the 3 owners of the Pokemon IP. It's Nintendo, Game Freak, and then I think the other one's a PE firm. You guys can let me know in the comments. Your job, your only job, is steak dinners and travel until they say, yeah, you can use our likeness of Charizard on a basketball card or a baseball card. Same way Prism does with zebras and tigers, but zebras and tigers aren't patented IP. So if they could come up with a collab there, share the profits in some sort of reasonable way, that would light the world on fire, because it would take the Pokemon audience and the sports card audience, put them together like a fireball, and it would be like the best-selling product of all time. They've done a couple things. Evan Longoria had Charizard on his bat, and they incorporated that into a card. If they don't want to go full bore on the cost of the licenses, they could do things like that, like stuff players have worn, or, like maybe this Pokemon card was owned by a sports player. Like maybe Aaron Judge likes Pokemon. You cut up like one that he's owned. I know it's like sacrilegious, and you turn that into something, another chase card or whatever. But there's ways you can do this, and I think it'd be pretty cool. I think everybody wants to see this, and that would mitigate some of the risk and take that IP's risk off the table. Because Pokemon, they're everywhere. Their distribution is beyond the LCS now. They are going direct to consumer. My local Shaw's has a Pokemon machine. I check it every time. It's always sold out. That's just the beginning. They could be everywhere. It's almost like the growth of cigarette machines in their heyday. Follow that curve. That is the curve that Pokemon vending machines are going to take. The only thing I will say, as a vintage Pokemon collector, I'm 5 cards away from a PSA 9 and 10 Shadowless first edition set. I only touch vintage. This modern stuff is a little crazy for me, with the fighting at the machines and the raiding of Costco and Walmart and Target and stuff like that. That tells you it's a little bubbly, but I don't know. My son likes both. I imagine Pokemon skews a little bit more female than sports cards. I'm not even going to imagine. It does. It definitely does. I don't know the percentage. But it's going to be fascinating to watch this battle take place with, you're a sports card show and you're traditionally, sports cards, but like the kids are coming in, like, where's the Pokemon? They leave without spending anything, or they don't even come because they've learned that you don't have it. Everybody's got to adapt. Maybe I know the Flippin' Card Show local to me. They have 2 shows. They got a TCG one and they got a sports card one now. I think that's the future. It cannot be ignored. It just cannot be ignored. They're taking over the shows. They're taking over the shops, and whether it's a bubble or not, we got a couple years of runway here. Forget about the repack stuff. That's a whole nother angle with Courtyard and everything. But it's wild, and Fanatics should not ignore this. They absolutely should come up with a partnership with their IP in some way, shape, or form, and they should collaborate on cards, chase cards. I think it would be awesome. And I think Pokemon would do it, to be honest, because, again, they're tapping in to the other's audience, and that's going to grow everything for both of them. And it makes us happy because we have more options. So wild times, and I'm going to be following this closely. So if you want updates, hit that follow or hit that subscribe button. I'm so used to Instagram. Thanks, everyone.